I think Blake Lively played everybody, and the news about her new movie was meant to fly under the radar. This video is going to get no reach, but I refuse to be silenced, and I refuse. My name's Ashley Brianna Eve. Welcome back to the channel. I have over 15 years of experience in the branding, marketing, and PR spaces. And here on this channel, I like to bring you behind the headlines to see your favorite trending pop culture stories through the lens of branding, marketing, and PR. Now, full transparency, guys, I went out to lunch, local pub, one of my favorites, and I had 2 glasses of wine despite my better judgment, because I knew I had to come home and film, and I rarely drink anymore. So 2 glasses of wine hit me like a ton of bricks. But we're going to get through this together as a community. All right. I wanted to let you guys know that after seeing NotActuallyGolden's recent video about Blake Lively and her taking on new film roles and proving that she's actually attempting to get work and actively show that she is attempting to get work, I have a new lens on, not a new lens, but I have a perspective on her PR campaign for this new movie. I want to show you what I mean. First, we'll look at NotActuallyGolden's video. NotActuallyGolden breaks it down here. And I should say, before we get too far into this video, make sure to like, subscribe, hit get notifications. We go live Monday through typically Saturday with all of your favorite trending pop culture news. And I often don't have a glass of wine before I go live. You guys are going to have to let me know in the comments. How obvious is it that I'm trying to hold it together? Let me know. Let's listen to NotActuallyGolden first.
I've assumed the position for the evening. And I saw this article earlier this week, and it reminded me of a topic that I've been wanting to talk about and just haven't found the right time to, which is the plaintiff's obligation to mitigate their damages. And this seems like a good opportunity to talk about it. So when you are the plaintiff in a case, you are seeking monetary damages from someone. There's an automatic legal responsibility that you have to mitigate those damages. And what that means is you can't just sit there and let damages accrue so that the other parties eventually have to pay you more money than you actually deserve. So in employment cases, a lot of times, if somebody gets fired, right, if their claim and their injury is based on the fact that they lost their job and they've got lost wages, right, from a job they think they were supposed to have.
So I just have to pause for fair use, but essentially what she's saying is Blake can't just not attempt to get in movies. And I'm going to tie this back to PR, because I did find it weird that she was dropping the news of a new movie. I think it was late on a Thursday night, which tends to be the Friday news dump. I'm going to circle back to what that means.
What they can't do is just sit around while the case is going on, not looking for another job, right? Because they have a responsibility as someone claiming monetary damages to do whatever is reasonable in good faith within their power to try to stop or limit those damages to the extent they possibly can. They're not required to take actions that hurt them. They are not required to turn their lives upside down, but they are required to take reasonable steps to mitigate or lessen the effect of the damages that they have claimed.
And if you are at this channel, I need to get a t-shirt, a mug, a certificate that says graduated from Ashley Brianna Eve School of PR. But if you're used to being around here, you probably see where we're going with this. Okay. Friday news dump, essentially late Thursday, she dropped the news, and she has to, from a legal perspective, I'm not a lawyer. I don't even play one on TV. I don't really like legal dramas. I like medical dramas. House, The Pit, so good with Noah Wiley. But you can probably see where we're going, right?
So for Lively's sexual harassment claim, it's kind of a weird one, because the only real damages that she is claiming are emotional, this was really hard for her. It made it hard for her to go to work. And while you can put a monetary limit on that, or a monetary amount on that, usually when it comes to mitigating emotional pain and suffering, stuff like that, it's really just like, you can't drink 3 bottles of tequila every day and then say, I just can't get over this depression. Or, right, if a doctor prescribes you medication, you have to take it for your emotional issues, stuff like that. I don't think that really applies to Blake Lively here, since she pulled the intentional infliction claims and let everybody know that she was not going to be claiming severe emotional distress.
Remember, guys, she has garden variety emotional distress. I actually have a sticker for you at the merch store that talks all about that as well. You can flaunt your garden variety emotional stress and distress all day long, my friends.
For any of her claims, because she doesn't want to turn over medical records. So, the only real mitigation of damages she has to do there is to just, try to live her life. All right. The more interesting question is on the retaliation claim, because a lot of her damage, her primary damage there, is reputational damage, right? And so what do you have to do to mitigate reputational damage? You can't pile on, right? You can't pile on and make the reputational damage worse. Now, I know that there's an argument in this case that's eventually going to be made that she caused the emotional damage in the first place. But assuming, for the sake of argument now, before we get to that
I think that's such a great point. She literally caused her own emotional damage, because the emotional damage to her is the negative press. She cannot fathom how the public doesn't absolutely love her and fawn over her. But girlfriend, you created your own emotional damage by selling grab your friends and your florals to go see my DV movie. You created your own emotional damage by creating drinks called Rile You Wait, named after the abuser of your DV film. You, Blake, need a mirror because you caused your own emotional damage.
Even if Wayfair somehow caused her reputational damage, she still has to show that she did everything within a reasonable amount of effort to mitigate those damages. So like when they went to the SNL 50th anniversary and people were really upset about that, and when she went to the Time thing and gave that speech, people were really upset about that. And they were like, how can she do that? Doesn't this show that her reputation hasn't been damaged? And what that was damages mitigation. That was her. She can't just sit at home and cry until this case goes to trial, right? If you're claiming that your reputation has been damaged, then you have to go out there and do the things you can do to make it better, which I think she would argue that's what she was doing. She's continuing to work on getting projects, which is what this is, because she can't just say, I'm never going to get a movie job ever again and just not try, right?
The interesting thing with this project being named Now, the original view I had, because I didn't have the legal background, I didn't understand the legal side of it, is that it was to improve SEO, which it did. It gave her a temporary bump in SEO, which is search engine optimization over on Google. It's kind of my baby project, my pet project. It's what I'm obsessed with. When I was in reputation management and narrative control and PR, was SEO, which is Google. And so it did give her a temporary bump. It did make me look at it sideways that it was released at the end of the week when there was no director, no other actors attached to it. So there was no urgency to release the news. So it did make me think, like, what is going on here? But I didn't have the legal background to understand from a legal side. So we're still going to get into it. Don't worry. Just stick with me, my friends. Stick with me.
But what's tricky about this in a reputation damage case is that it cuts in both directions, because while it does align with this idea of she's out there trying to rectify and undo the emotion or the reputational damage to the greatest extent she possibly can through the means that she has, it also starts to look at some point like, was the reputational damage all that bad if it was this easy to fix? Right?
And make sure to check out my videos under exposés on Hollywood because we break down Ryan Reynolds. I've said multiple times throughout this whole ordeal, this whole lawsuit, that the only reason she's protected in Hollywood is Ryan Reynolds. He has a lot of power. He has a lot of backing. He is still in good favor. His statistics from social monitoring and social listening tools, which are PR monitoring tools, which I have access to because I use it for my clients, is still very positive. I genuinely believe her, whatever shred of alignment of backing she has with Hollywood is because of her husband.
Right. So, I think that both sides of this case are looking at these things that she's doing as potential evidence and arguments for them. Mm-hmm. It's also really interesting to me that this statement or the release of this information is not just that she will star in this movie, but that she will produce it. Because, of course, that was
this is so important as well because she has the producer credit. Now, we've made jokes on the channel that she's likely there's no director attached to it because she's probably going to do the rug pull. They already know she's going to be the director as well. But this is really interesting. I love what she says here.
Very big deal in the whole It Ends With Us thing was that she eventually got herself a PGA mark because she did so much producing on the film. And, again, I can kind of see this cutting both ways. I can see her saying, yeah, the fact that Lionsgate is going to allow me to produce a film just shows how helpful I was on that set and how much I deserve that PGA mark. But then it allows the Wayfarer people to say, this is how much power this woman had on our set, was that she did basically produce an entire movie. And now, because of she did it on our movie, she's getting to do it on another movie.
Now, I just wanted to pop over here because one of the things that people have been talking about is, well, that's all well and good that she has this movie in production, but she's also had multiple movies in production that have done nothing on her IMDb. So if you go over to Blake Lively's IMDb, you scroll down to upcoming, The Husband's Secret, The Making of, and Proxy have been on here for a long ass time. They have not moved. There is nothing that's happened with them, but it looks good, right? She has all of these things that are upcoming. We have Proxy in this tense sci-fi thriller. Woman miraculously reawakens after a medical trauma to discover her consciousness has been embedded in a biosynthetic body. Nothing has happened with this. As another side note, the new Alien TV series, fantastic, thumbs up. And that actually reminds me of the Alien TV series. The Making of, long married filmmakers have cast over emotional actors to portray their younger selves in the story of their great love. God, do not be in a romantic role with Blake Lively. Run for the hills. Maybe that's why this has never been actually followed through on. Unfortunately, by the time shooting begins, their fabled marriage is unraveling. And then we also have The Husband's Secret. The lives of three women all come crumbling down after one of the women discovers a secret letter written by her husband. Nothing's happened from any of these. Nothing. And now we're adding the survivalist Annie to this. I'm not saying nothing will ever happen from this. It's just really weird. If you were looking for a big bang and a big announcement, late Thursday and a Friday is sure as shit not the days you do it. That is Friday news dump territory. That is, when we're talking about Friday news dump and PR, you want that to go under the radar. You don't want anyone to know about it. So with this one, it says a snobbish TV producer and a celebrity survival expert end up stranded on a remote island after a shipwreck. When his survival skills prove fake, she must lead their fight for survival, sparking an unlikely romance. I would trust a goldfish or my dog to lead my fight for survival more than I would Blake Lively. There is no way I would trust Blake Lively or a character she plays for my fight for survival. So a lot of people, though, what I've been hearing is people saying, she's had all these lists. Look at them. It's like a laundry list of shit now of things that she might do one day. And a lot of people have been saying that's all it is. So combining what Not Actually Golden said with the fact that Blake Lively has a laundry list of movies that are one day maybe, hopefully, sort of going to be made, continually being added to her upcoming list on IMDb, it started to get me thinking. So we have this need to show that you're actively seeking work. We have a need for improved SEO. And we also have that news being delivered on a late Thursday into Friday. I think, yes, this absolutely was for some positive headlines to maybe improve her SEO a little bit. But I want to be honest, I don't think she really wanted this to gain traction. Even if this is actually a movie that she is going to be doing, I genuinely am starting to wonder if she is using this more as proof that, look, I'm trying to get work and people trash me online. And I'm going to show you what I mean. Shortly after she announced the news, we also got articles coming out, headlines coming out, like directors hesitant to work with Blake Lively because of how she is on set, says source. We also got more articles coming out in regards to Justin Baldoni fans brutally roasting Blake Lively rom-com. I am starting to wonder if she dropped this on a late Thursday and a Friday, which is the news dump, knowing she would get negative headlines as well as positive, to say, hey, I'm trying. It was in pre-production. We were looking for a director, but no director will work with me because of Justin. I'm starting to wonder if this was a little bit of a trap that she was trying to set to show, I'm here trying to get work. My legal obligation is to show I'm trying to get work. I'm trying to get work, and look what happens. I get roasted by Justin Baldoni fans. I wouldn't even be surprised, honestly, if now I know the legal side of it. I wouldn't even be surprised if her lawyers, her PR, leaked this one. Directors hesitant to work with Blake Lively because of how she is on set, says source. What if all along this was a big farce? All along this was a big show to set the trap or make it look like, to give the illusion of, people won't work with me because of what happened. And now this is all allegedly. This is just based on putting the pieces together that you never drop good news on a late Thursday and a Friday if you actually wanted to gain traction, combined with what NotActuallyGolden said in regards to the legal side. I would not be shocked if it was her side that dropped this one. Directors hesitant to work with Blake Lively because of how she is on set, says source. Now, the crazy thing for me is there was a temporary boost in positive PR today because it's her birthday, apparently, allegedly, August 25th. Who knows? She lies about everything, so you never know. There was a temporary boost. Her PR team isn't even pushing her birthday. That's actually sad to me, where your PR team would rather push that the inside Justin Baldoni's 30K a month smear job against Blake Lively video rather than positive news because of your birthday. That's actually sad to me. So anyway, guys, I want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on this? Her positive PR around her birthday lasted for a couple hours this morning and it petered off. Now we're looking at all smearing Justin Baldoni again. She can't even rely on positive press in regards to her birthday, which is crazy to me. And number two, do you think that the movie announcement was more a plant to get negative pushback, even if planted by her own side, to show that, hey, I'm out here trying to get work and no one will work with me. And it's all because of Justin. It's all because of these evil content creators. And it's all because of the smear campaign. After seeing NotActuallyGolden's video, I'm starting to believe that more and more. But let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.
What I found, and nobody wants to hear it.